Patrick Mahomes coming to a dome for the first time in his professional playing career. That means 8 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns?
At least.
The Lions, however, have gotten off to a great start. James Palmer, they're unbeaten at 2-0-1, sir.
Yeah, you're right, Rich. And now we know Patrick Mahomes doesn't have Tyreek Hill as he recovers from that clavicle injury, but Hill's been spending a lot of time with the Chiefs' rookie wide receiving speedster in Mecole Hardman. Now, Hardman told me this week in Kansas City they have almost the exact same skill set. So when he sees something that a defensive back does to him that he doesn't really know how to react, Hill and him spend some time, and Hill tells him what he would do going against that, and Hardman translates that into how he plays. Now, Hardman leads the NFL in yards per catch, and last week had an 83-yard touchdown catch where he was clocked a little over 21 miles an hour. He said he was only going about 80%. He told me in the right situation, he thinks he can hit 23 miles an hour on this fast turf. So I mentioned the turf, Irv. What is Patrick Mahomes going to do in this indoor stadium?
Man, listen, James, our indoor stadium gives you the perfect condition to play football in with a perfect football. Patrick Mahomes is like a perfect passing machine, and Andy Reid has been calling plays perfectly. This is going to be an incredible day that we get to watch this machine work inside. Do you know the Chiefs, they got 4 receivers, all 4 receivers with over 150 yards. Watkins, Kelsey, Robinson, and Hardman, and none of those guys are named Tyreek Hill. So they're great right now, and they will get greater later. Now, let's go to Mike Garafolo.
Patrick Mahomes, you just heard James Palmer talk about him. He hit those big plays against the Ravens secondary that had communication issues last week, and they are going up against the Browns team that really hasn't hit the big play but wants to do that. So when I spoke to cornerback Brandon Carr, he said the problem that we need to fix is communication. We've got to get better both pre-snap and during the play. Carr didn't point any fingers, but my understanding is Earl Thomas did a little freelancing in Seattle, is doing it here in Baltimore, but he just doesn't have that chemistry quite yet with his Ravens teammates. So they're hopeful on the back end that those things will get better. So, Mooch, going back to that Browns offense against this Ravens defense, do you think Freddie Kitchens should give up play calling as a head coach? You've been through it before.
Yeah, I have. And, Freddie Kitchens is calling the plays, and he's good at it. He did a heck of a job now last year. Baker Mayfield took this league by storm because of Freddie Kitchens' play calling. But I will tell you that once you are the head coach, you're wearing many hats, all right? You're not just calling plays. You are responsible for challenges, for timeouts, for personnel changes, for arguing with the officials, all of that kind of thing. And sometimes guys get a little distracted from play calling. But you know what? I don't think he's going to change it anytime soon because he's good at it and he wants to make this work. And we will see, unless he can find somebody that's very like-minded, like some guys have done. And now let me send it out to Indianapolis for Raiders Colts with MJ Acosta.
Well, Mooch, each of these teams has a young, physical running back, and Raiders rookie Josh Jacobs has been hyper-focused since the day he got drafted. In every conversation I've had with Jacobs, he's even keel and stresses how well he knows this offense. Now, Jacobs took a dip in productivity in Week 3, but he's already rushed for nearly 230 yards and a pair of TDs on the year. And those numbers, not too far off from Colts running back Marlon Mack. Now, here's the thing. Mack put up over 100 rushing yards and scored twice versus the Raiders last season. But yes, different year, different team. But I'm told for Mack, that context, it matters. Kurt, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Well, thanks a lot, MJ. And what I love about this Colts team is what Frank Reich is doing with their young quarterback. He didn't just put him in there and say, I want you to be Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck threw almost 5 big plays a game. Jacoby Brissett has only thrown 5 all year, and when he throws and makes these big plays, they're out of design here. It's a 3rd and 1 play. We're going to go with the hard play action. We're not going to ask you to read a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to design big plays for you. You see the tight end sneaking out the backside. Easy design, easy read, easy play. Now, we're going to come out again. We're going to fake the bubble screen right here. Okay, we're going to get Atlanta to jump up. Look at this again. Another high hopper. We're creating big plays for you, not asking you to do too much, but manage the game. 3rd and 1. Last week, critical situation to finish the game. Hard play action. Another guy wide open down the field. Frank Reich is doing an unbelievable job with Jacoby Brissett in allowing him to learn the position, to manage the position before we ask him to do too much week in and week out. Love what they're doing there in Indianapolis. And I feel like the producers are just messing with me. The irony that right now I'm going to throw it to Cynthia's pick six.
That's well done. Well done. Well done, Kurt Warner. Thanks very much. I've been having a lot of fun, Cynthia, with the guys about raising your hand if you've done well in picks and knowing that the guys aren't going to raise their hand. So
Mooch is raising his hand right now.
No, Mooch. Put your hand down, because raise your hand if you're 35-13-1 with straight-up picks so far this season. Cynthia Freeland right here with pick six. Listen up, everybody. Listen. Mooch, listen up. First up in your pick six, Chiefs-Lions. What do you have today?
Well, you got to keep it here because you're going to need to see actives and inactives when we see about Darius Slay. But right now, I have 30-23 in favor of Patrick Mahomes and the away team. That number could get even more different, so bigger difference between the two if Slay isn't going to play. Look, Patrick Mahomes is my number one quarterback every single week, but my model almost never projects more than 300 passing yards, like as the projection. That's just not how projections really work. 312 for him.
Okay, now moving on to Tennessee in Atlanta. What do you have in this one?
I have an upset in this one. I have 23-20. For me, this one comes down to Derrick Henry controlling the football game. 82 scrimmage yards and a touchdown is what the model says. It's really about control and earning first downs on the legs of Derrick Henry.
Okay, that's your second pick. That would be a major issue for Atlanta if they fall to 1-3 with that home loss.
It's math. It's math.
No, and again, you're 35-13-1 so far this year. Panthers, Texans, you have the Texans pulling this one out.
Yeah, this one's a pretty big win, a pretty nice 6-point win for the Texans. For me, it's an interesting thing because both teams are really good at sacking opposing quarterbacks. So look for at least 5 combined sacks on this game today. We're going to talk about Brian Burns. He never gets any love yet. He's going to. The Carolina Panthers, Ricky.
27-21 final. Okay. Now you've got the Washington Redskins in desperate need of a win, taking it in New Jersey. Why do you have a 20? What do you see at 24-23 Washington?
Look,
in this one?
it's a lot harder when you know there's going to be no Saquon. You can game plan, and the front of the Redskins defense is their strength. The back end throwing. You do have a really good fantasy projection for Daniel Jones. I'm not saying anything bad about Daniel Jones at all. 274 and 2 touchdowns, but it's going to be a little different without Saquon Barkley, and we might see some quarterback changes on the other side of this matchup.
NFC North, Bears, Vikings. You have
22-17. Mitch Trubisky, he's ranking at about quarterback 20, 232 passing yards.
Okay.
In this one.
And then later on this afternoon in Los Angeles, Rams trying to go to 4-0, and you have them doing it
very
by
healthy margin. This is a big Todd Gurley game for me.
Look at him out there, man, in Western New York.
Man, that doesn't look like
for
a man.
success, Rich.
That doesn't look like a man coming to get beat up.
Last year he came with his shirt untucked.
It looks like he's coming to do some beating.
Mike Giardi, take it away.
Thank you, Rich, and get ready for the Josh Allen experience. The Bills' second-year quarterback has shown some signs of growth and maturity. Cole Beasley telling me he's never seen a guy handle the highs and lows as well as Allen does as a young player from not just week to week, but play to play. But Allen admits there are still things he needs to work on, including decision-making. He made a bad one last week against the Bengals on Sunday, and it let the Bengals back into the game. He says that just can't happen, but I'm learning from it, and it won't happen again. Patriot players refer to him as a running back with a huge arm. They're going to try to put him in a blender today and see if they can confuse the second-year pro with just 14 starts under his belt, Rich.
All right, Mike Giardi, much appreciated. Patriots, as we all know, have been on cruise control right here, and they have gone 3-0, okay, against opponents that have currently 0 wins. 0 wins going in, 0 wins going out. 49ers are the same thing at 3-0. People are saying, well, we need to see what's going on here. The Patriots, we go at the bottom line topic bar. Is this the best Patriots team we've ever seen?
Ever?
Yeah, ever seen. Who wants to take a bite of the apple on this one first? Steve, you're first up on this one.
Yeah, no, it's too early. It's too early, and their offense plays very well. It's going to be fun to see them play without Gronk the entire season. But what I'm impressed with is this defense, guys. Let's face it. This defense, the missed tackle rate. I never even heard what this stat was in my whole coaching life. Missed tackle rate. This is the best tackling team in the National Football League this year by far. But when you look over the course of Bill Belichick's time there, They're always up on top. They've been the best tackling team in the National Football League, which is really impressive to me, especially when you keep losing defensive coordinators. Brian Flores leaves, right? Eric Mangini leaves. Romeo Crennel leaves. We got who else? Matt Patricia leaves. And this team is coached so darn well on defense. I know you like to talk about Tom Brady in Michigan all the time.